They don't want you to know this. They don't want you to discover how much power you already carry within yourself. Because the moment you awaken to this truth, nothing, no system, no limitation, no obstacle will ever be able to control you again. There is a truth so powerful that it has been whispered across generations, hidden beneath stories, buried under doctrines, and disguised as mystery. Those who know it live lives that seem impossible to others, lives filled with abundance, freedom, and fulfillment. And those who ignore it spend their years chained to fear, lack, and limitation. This truth is simple, yet its simplicity is what makes it so dangerous to those who thrive on control. Because if you understood it, you would no longer look outside for your salvation, you would realize it was within you all along. The truth is this: your imagination is not fantasy, it is creation. Every thought you nurture, every scene you rehearse, every picture you hold in your inner world is the seed of your reality. What you imagine consistently with feeling becomes your life. They don't want you to know this, because if you did, you would stop relying on external approval. You would stop being manipulated by fear, advertising, and systems designed to make you feel powerless. You would realize that the power to shape your destiny is in your own mind. And once you know that, no one can control you. Look around at the world. Everything you see, every building, every invention, every masterpiece, first existed in the unseen. It began as a thought, a dream, a mental picture. And yet most people are taught to ignore their imagination, to dismiss it as just daydreaming. Why? Because if you treat your imagination as useless, you'll spend your life living by the imagination of others. You'll follow their systems, their dreams, their rules. But the moment you awaken and start deliberately using your own inner power, you break free. That is the truth they'll try to hide. Consider how many times you've experienced this already without realizing it. Have you ever thought deeply about someone only to have them call you or appear in your life soon after? Have you ever held a dream so strongly in your heart that opportunities began to align out of nowhere? That is no coincidence, that is the law of the unseen in action. What you hold within must eventually express without. But the key is belief. If you imagine while doubting, you plant both seeds of faith and weeds of fear. If you imagine with certainty, you create alignment that cannot be stopped. This is why you must guard your inner world. Because the truth is, you are always manifesting. Whether you realize it or not, every fear, every worry, every thought is shaping tomorrow. They won't tell you this because it would expose the root of your struggles. If people knew that their constant fears of debt, loss, rejection, or failure were in fact creating those very experiences, they would wake up and change their focus immediately. But instead, society trains us to worry, to doubt, to expect the worst, and then pretends it is just reality. No. Reality is only the reflection of what has been impressed upon your inner self. You don't have to accept the circumstances handed to you. You don't have to bow to the so-called facts of the world. The truth is that facts are only temporary. They shift the moment you shift your state of being. If you are poor today, it does not mean you are doomed to be poor tomorrow. If you are heartbroken today, it does not mean love has abandoned you forever. If you are lost today, it does not mean you will remain lost. Everything changes when you change the picture you hold of yourself. That is the secret. You are not bound by what you see. You are bound only by what you believe. They will try to hide this because it gives you back your power. They will say, be realistic. They will mock you, call you a dreamer, or even accuse you of arrogance. But pay attention, every great achiever, every revolutionary, every person who changed the course of history was first called unrealistic. They refused to bow to the visible world. They lived in the unseen until it became seen. And so can you. What separates the ordinary from the extraordinary is not talent, not luck, not privilege. It is imagination disciplined by faith. So let me ask you, what are you imagining daily? Do you replay the worst moments of your life, keeping pain alive? Do you see yourself as unworthy, weak, or incapable? If so, you are handing your future over to limitation. But if you dare to imagine yourself as strong, abundant, loved, and unstoppable, you are writing a new script for your reality. That is the truth most will never tell you. You are not a victim of life, you are the author of it. There is no force outside you that is stronger than the force within you. When you align your imagination with faith, the entire universe bends to your vision. People will appear to help you. Opportunities will rise from nowhere. Doors you thought were locked will swing open. It will feel like miracles, but it is simply the law at work. What you hold within must manifest without. That is not philosophy, it is life's deepest law. But here is where the challenge lies. It is not enough to imagine once and forget. You must persist. The outer world will often contradict your vision at first. You will see evidence of the old reality trying to cling to life. But don't be deceived. What you imagine in faith is already done. The outer world is only catching up. The greatest mistake people make is giving up too soon. They look at circumstances, see no change, and surrender back to fear. And in doing so, they kill the seed of their vision. Don't fall for that trap. Persist, and the unseen will become the seen. The reason this truth is dangerous is because it frees you from dependence. If you believe your future depends on the economy, on your job, on other people's approval, you will always be a slave to them. But if you realize your future depends only on the images you dare to hold in faith, you are untouchable. You can lose everything outwardly and still recreate it from within. That is power. That is freedom. That is the truth they'll try to hide from you. So today, choose to awaken. Stop surrendering your imagination to fear. Stop rehearsing worst-case scenarios. Stop living in doubt. Instead, dare to see yourself as the person you long to be. Dare to feel the joy of already having it. Walk as if it is done. Think as if it is real. And watch how quickly life bends to your vision. You will shock those around you. They will call it luck, coincidence, or miracle. But you will know it is the law of creation, the truth they tried to hide, now revealed in your life. Remember this, the world outside is only a mirror. If you want to change the reflection, don't fight the mirror, change yourself. Change your inner dialogue, your inner pictures, your inner state. That is where your real lies. Win there, and you win everywhere. So hold fast to this truth. Watch it carefully before it is hidden from your sight again by fear, by doubt, by the voices of limitation. Let it root in your heart, because once you truly grasp it, no power in this world can stop you from living the life you were meant to live. The greatest truth is hidden in plain sight. Your imagination creates your reality. The images you hold in your mind are not fantasies, they are the blueprints of your future. Every scene you replay, every desire you picture, every vision you allow yourself to feel, begins shaping itself in the unseen. This is why some people seem to attract opportunities effortlessly, while others live in constant struggle. The difference is not luck, it is awareness. Those who know this secret live from the inside out. They don't wait for circumstances to change before they feel different. They feel different first, and the circumstances rearrange. Life bends to the pictures you hold within. This is the truth they don't want you to know, because if you believed it, you would stop depending on them. You would stop asking for permission. You would rise and create your own path. Every thought you dwell on plants a seed that must one day appear in your life. Thoughts are not empty, they carry vibration, and vibration seeks expression. When you constantly worry about lack, life mirrors lack. When you dwell on abundance, opportunities appear. This is not coincidence, it is law. The soil of your subconscious accepts every seed without judgment. It does not ask if you wanted it or not, it simply grows what you plant. If your mind is filled with fear, fear becomes your harvest. If your heart is filled with vision, vision becomes your life. The tragedy is that most people plant weeds and then curse the garden. But you can change it today. Sow deliberately. Think deliberately. Feel deliberately. Because whether you know it or not, tomorrow's experiences are already taking root in the soil of your imagination. They tell you to be realistic because they fear your power to shape the unseen. Society thrives when you believe in limits. Systems of control exist only because people accept them as truth. But the moment you break free from the illusion, the chains dissolve. Being realistic is often just code for being fearful. It is the advice given by those who settle for less. But the greatest breakthroughs, inventions, and revolutions came from those who dared to believe in what others called impossible. The airplane, the light bulb, the computer, all once mocked as unrealistic fantasies. Yet here they are, shaping our world. Realism builds cages, vision breaks them. Do not let their fear shrink your imagination. Dare to dream beyond logic, and you'll see logic bend to you. What you see outside is only a mirror of what you believe inside. The world is not happening to you, it is happening through you. Every relationship, every opportunity, every challenge is a reflection of your inner state. If you carry insecurity, you attract situations that confirm it. If you carry confidence, doors swing open. Life does not reflect what you want. It reflects what you are. This is why change cannot begin with action alone. It must begin with identity. If you see yourself as powerful, life will mirror that power. If you see yourself as weak, life will prove you right. The outer world is simply a shadow, and the shadow cannot move unless the figure moves first. Change the figure within, and the shadow must follow. The moment you awaken to your inner power, no system can control you again. You stop being manipulated by fear. You stop being enslaved by approval. You stop begging for opportunities and start creating them. Systems thrive on people who believe they are powerless. That is why this truth is buried, ridiculed, or ignored. The awakened mind cannot be bought, cannot be caged, cannot be silenced. It realizes that power was never outside, it was always within. And when you step into that awareness, you become unstoppable. You no longer wait for rescue, you become your own rescuer. You no longer hope for change, you embody change, and the world has no choice but to respond. Fear, doubt, and worry are not harmless, they are blueprints for your future. Every anxious thought is a seed. Every fearful emotion is a request sent into the unseen. Most people rehearse their failures long before they happen. They picture the rejection, they feel the loss, they imagine the pain. And the universe, impartial and precise, delivers what is planted. This is not punishment, it is reflection. If you can visualize failure, you can also visualize success. If you can imagine pain, you can also imagine joy. The power is neutral, and it is always in your hands. The choice is simple. Will you build your future with fear, or will you construct it with faith? Persist in your vision, even when the outer world shows you the opposite. At first, life will test you. It will show you the old reality, trying to see if you will believe the lie. Most give up too soon, surrendering to appearances. But appearances are temporary. They are echoes of past thoughts. When you hold firm in your vision, refusing to be swayed by circumstances, you force reality to align. Persistence is the bridge between imagination and manifestation. The dreamer who persists becomes the achiever. The believer who refuses to quit becomes the proof. Don't be fooled by the delay. Delay is not denial. Hold the picture. Trust the unseen. The harvest will come. The unseen always becomes the seen. Imagination is the blueprint of destiny. Everything around you today, every object, every invention, every success was once invisible. Someone dared to imagine it. Someone held the blueprint in their mind long before it existed in reality. And so it is with your life. If you can see it inwardly, you can live it outwardly. But if you refuse to imagine it, you deny yourself the chance to receive it. The unseen is more real than the seen, for it is the source. The outer world is just the echo, the inner world is the song. What song are you playing? What picture are you painting? For whatever you hold within, the world must reflect. You are not a victim of circumstances, you are the author of them. Life is not a random accident, it is a story written by your beliefs. Every chapter you live is the result of words you've whispered within yourself. If you declare defeat, defeat becomes your story. If you declare victory, victory takes the pen. The author controls the ending, not the characters within. You hold the pen, whether you realize it or not. Stop writing tragedies when you long for triumph. Stop scripting fear when you desire faith. You are not powerless, you are the writer of your fate. And the moment you take back the pen, the story begins to change. When you hold your desire with faith, The universe bends to your vision. Forces align. People appear. Opportunities emerge. What seemed impossible begins to unfold with ease. It is not magic, it is alignment. Faith tunes your inner world to the frequency of your desire, and life has no choice but to respond. Doubt scatters energy, but faith focuses it. A focused spirit is unstoppable. The mountain moves not because it is weak, but because your vision is strong. Never underestimate the silent power of belief. It is stronger than circumstance, louder than fear, and more real than doubt. They'll call it luck, coincidence, or miracle, but you'll know it was creation. The world loves to explain away what it doesn't understand. They will tell you it just happened, but you will know. You will remember the nights you held the picture and the mornings you walked in faith, the days you persisted when nothing changed. They didn't see the battle within you, but they will see the victory around you. Let them call it luck. You know it is law. Let them call it coincidence. You know it is creation. The evidence of your imagination will stand as undeniable proof that you are more powerful than you were ever told. The truth is simple. What you dare to imagine with faith, you will one day live. There is no force strong enough to stop a vision held in certainty. The only obstacle is doubt. The only delay is disbelief. But the moment you choose faith, the unseen begins its work. Hold the picture, feel the result, walk as though it is done. This is the truth they will try to hide. Because once you understand it, you will never again bow to fear. You will never again be trapped by limits. You will rise, you will create, and you will live the life you once only dreamed of.